You're Dr. Amara, aren't you? Don't touch her.
3 years. It ends tonight.
She treated him, but that man was not just a patient. This is Afro-Korean love in Seoul.
A single red light. The CCTV camera.
It's recording.
She could run. She could scream. But her feet did not move.
Sit down and move your hand.
The voice of a doctor born from fear that had been swallowed whole. Jae-hyuk studied her for a moment. She could have run. She could have screamed. But this woman was already reaching for gloves.
She's not running.
He slowly sat down on the treatment table. Amara's hands examined the wound. A through and through. Fortunately, no organs were hit. The blood loss was the problem. Her hands moved quickly. Pressure, disinfection, suture preparation, and in between her eyes moved once more toward the CCTV. The red light, still on.
If I report this, it's all on that camera. If I don't report this, it's all on that camera.
Either way, the record remains.
When did this happen?
About an hour ago.
Why didn't you go to a hospital?
I have reasons.
Amara didn't ask again. Her hands didn't stop. The suturing began. In the treatment room, there was nothing but the smell of antiseptic and the sound of two people breathing. Jae-hyuk endured the pain without a word. He didn't clench his jaw. He didn't flinch. He just held on. 12 minutes into the suture, Amara's hands trembled barely, almost invisibly. She picked up the same piece of gauze twice, then set it back down.
You're doing well.
Amara's hands stopped. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't an order. Just a quiet, low voice saying something human. She didn't respond. She moved her hands again, but her heart beat in a strange new rhythm. The suture took 27 minutes. Amara tied the final knot and let out a slow breath. Jae-hyuk had not made a single sound of pain in all that time.
It's done. Don't move for 48 hours.
Thank you.
Amara removed her gloves and looked at him. 187 centimeters. A sharp jawline. Deep, cold eyes. But right now, something about his face looked different.
Next time, go to a real hospital.
I'm not sure there will be a next time.
Amara said nothing. She didn't want to ask what that meant. She looked slowly toward the CCTV. The red light. Still on. She didn't reach for it.
If I turn it off, it means I'm hiding something.
3:31 a.m. The CCTV was still running, and Amara had still not made the report. 3:45 a.m. Inside the treatment room, Jae-hyuk sat on the treatment table. Amara was cleaning up the instruments. No one spoke. Amara set down what she was cleaning and looked at him.
Why are you still here?
It's not safe outside yet.
That's my problem?
Right now, yes.
Amara had no answer for that. From the moment she chose not to report him, this night had already become something they shared. She knew that. Amara sat in the corner chair, as far from Jae-hyuk as the room allowed. Outside the window, the Gangnam streets at night. Street lights, empty roads. Jae-hyuk's gaze moved slowly toward the CCTV.
Most people would have turned it off by now.
Amara hadn't expected that. For a moment, she had no words.
If I turn it off, it means I'm hiding something.
Jae-hyuk looked at her. For a long time. That answer stayed with him longer than he expected.
For 3 years, all I did was hide things.
He turned toward the window. For the first time, something felt uncomfortable. 400 a.m. Footsteps in the hallway. The night shift nurse had returned. Amara stood up.
Stay inside. Don't make a sound.
Jae-hyuk nodded without a word. Amara opened the door and stepped out.
Doctor, you're still here? Anything unusual tonight?
No, nothing.
A lie. Amara had never been good at lying. But in that moment, the words came out as naturally as breathing. She waited until the nurse had moved away, then returned to the treatment room. As she closed the door, she held the handle a beat too long.
I just lied.
The treatment room door closed. Jae-hyuk's expression hadn't changed, as if he'd known she would come back.
Thank you.
Don't misunderstand. That wasn't for you.
I know.
A short reply. Amara sat down. She opened a chart. Wrote nothing. Just held the pen.
Leave when it gets light.
All right.
4:08 a.m. Two people in the same room. And then Jae-hyuk's phone screen lit up briefly and went dark. He didn't turn the screen toward Amara. On the screen, search complete. Gangnam District. Foreign medical staff. Amara.
She's already exposed.
He put the phone in his pocket. Amara was still looking at the blank chart. 4:22 a.m. A shallow silence rested between them. Amara leaned back in her chair with her eyes closed. She wasn't asleep. Jae-hyuk looked out the window. The Gangnam night. Empty streets. Then a vibration from inside his jacket. He checked the screen. His expression hardened.
They're here.
He rose slowly from his seat. The wound pulled. His face didn't change.
I told you not to move.
People are coming. Stay inside the treatment room. Don't come out.
What people?
Jae-hyuk didn't answer. Then a sound from the front of the clinic. The glass door. Footsteps. More than one. Amara's body went rigid. 3 men appeared at the end of the hallway. Dark clothing. Sharp eyes. One of them spotted Jae-hyuk and stopped.
Boss.
One of the men turned his gaze slowly toward Amara. He kept walking. Stopped directly in front of her. And then quietly said,
"You're Dr. Amara, aren't you?"
Amara's heart felt like it stopped. Her name. He knew her name. How far? How deeply had she been exposed?
He knows my name.
Jae-hyuk's eyes shifted instantly.
Boss, she's seen things. There are rules, I said.
Don't touch her.
His voice was low and quiet. But inside it, there was no room for negotiation. Jae-hyuk moved slowly. He stepped between Amara and the men, and reached inside his jacket. Amara held her breath. She thought it was a gun. But what Jae-hyuk pulled out was a badge.
What is that?
A metal badge. The Republic of Korea Prosecution Service. The men's faces went stiff.
3 years. It ends tonight.
The men stepped back. Amara stared at the badge. Then she looked at the man holding it.
A prosecutor. This man was a prosecutor.
The men retreated and the hallway fell quiet. Jae-hyuk put the badge away. He turned slowly toward Amara.
You're a prosecutor?
Yes.
Undercover?
3 years.
Amara couldn't find words. Gunshot wound. Lie. CCTV. Accomplice. And prosecutor. Everything rearranged itself at once. But there was something else that surfaced first.
Did you know my name from the beginning?
Jae-hyuk didn't answer. That silence was his answer. Amara's eyes hardened.
We need to leave. I'll explain later.
Later?
Amara laughed. It wasn't really a laugh. 5:03 a.m. The back alley behind the clinic. The Gangnam night air was cold. At the end of the alley, a black car was waiting. Jae-hyuk stopped.
Get in.
Where are we going?
Somewhere safe.
Amara didn't move. The cold early morning wind stirred her hair.
You knew from the beginning
Amara.
that I was in danger, that my records had been pulled. From the beginning.
Jae-hyuk didn't answer. That silence was his answer again.
Because of you. 3 years of holding on here could fall apart.
Her voice was low and quiet. But what was inside it was a great deal. 3 years. A visa. A contract position. The time she had spent surviving alone in Seoul. Jae-hyuk knew all of it, which was exactly why he had nothing to say.
I know.
If you knew, then why?
It was the closest clinic. I didn't choose you.
Is that supposed to be different?
It is different.
Amara looked at him. His eyes didn't waver. They weren't the eyes of someone lying. But that alone wasn't enough. Silence. The cold alley wind moved between them.
I'm sorry.
Amara looked up. Jae-hyuk didn't look away.
In 3 years, I haven't said that to anyone.
Amara looked at him. For a long time. And for the first time, she saw exhaustion in his face. Something hidden beneath the cold, hard exterior. 3 years of wait.
How long has this man been alone?
The moment that thought arrived, she knew she was in danger. Amara drew a slow breath.
Get in the car.
What?
You said somewhere safe.
Jae-hyuk looked at her for a moment. Then for the very first time, a small smile crossed his face. Amara pretended not to see it as she opened the car door. The car began to move. Outside the window, the Gangnam streets at night drifted past. The distance between them was quietly, steadily closing. 5:18 a.m. An office tel overlooking the Han River. Jae-hyuk's safe house. Amara went in first. It wasn't a large space. Almost no signs that anyone had actually lived here.
You live here?
Some.
For 3 years?
Yes.
Amara walked to the window. The Han River was there. Its dark water moved low and slow in the early morning light. She said nothing. She just looked.
3 years. In this space. Alone.
Jae-hyuk brought water. The two of them stood side by side at the window, looking out at the Han River.
Are you scared?
Right now I'm tired.
Jae-hyuk laughed softly, and Amara, without meaning to, laughed too, then immediately turned back toward the window. And then his phone rang. The moment he saw the screen, his expression went still.
Operations comment.
he answered.
Kang, that woman, we need to bring her in. Get her statement and put her in protective custody.
No.
She witnessed evidence. She has to be under our control until the operation is complete.
And after the operation?
We'll assess that when the time comes.
Jae-hyuk ended the call. Amara had been watching his back. She'd heard everything. The color drained from her face.
Protective custody? I'm just a variable that needs to be managed?
Jae-hyuk took a step toward her. Amara didn't step back.
I have no intention of letting you go.
It's a direct order.
I'm breaking it.
Amara couldn't speak.
For 3 years, I followed every order. And then tonight, when you didn't turn off that CCTV.
He stopped. The words didn't come easily.
For the first time in 3 years, I felt ashamed of myself.
Silence. Amara's eyes wavered. And then footsteps in the hallway outside. Jae-hyuk's eyes shifted instantly.
Get inside. Now.
Amara went into the inner room. Jae-hyuk stood at the door. He straightened his jacket, steadied his breath. Then a voice came through his earpiece.
Kang, if you come back now, it's not too late. You can still return to the operation.
Jae-hyuk paused for just a moment. 3 years. That time passed through him. He slowly removed the earpiece, set it on the table, then opened the laptop. Amara's medical records appeared on the screen. He didn't hesitate. Delete. Confirm. And then once more. Permanent deletion. The door opened. 2 of the organization's core leaders stepped in.
Director Kang, you owe us an explanation.
Of course.
Jae-hyuk quietly withdrew a recording device and set it on the table.
3 years worth. Everything is in there.
The organization leader's face went rigid. Jae-hyuk didn't blink. 6:12 a.m. The treatment was done. Amara was putting away the emergency kit. Jae-hyuk sat at the window looking out at the Han River. The eastern sky was slowly brightening. Deep navy softening into pale gray. Gray warming into faint amber.
3 years have ended. And yet, why does this moment feel the heaviest of all?
Jae-hyuk watched Amara. Even as she packed away the kit, she glanced toward the window. The way she looked at Seoul's early morning, he held that image longer than he meant to.
What happens now?
I go back. To the prosecution office.
After 3 years.
Yes.
Amara nodded. It was the natural next step. That was right. She closed the kit zipper and pulled at the same spot twice.
So I'm just an accident that happened one night.
Silence. Outside, Seoul's sky grew steadily brighter. Jae-hyuk looked at it for a long time, then rose from his seat. He walked slowly toward Amara. And then, without a word, he took out a key and placed it quietly in her hand. The treatment room locker key from the clinic. She had dropped it when she went into the inner room tonight.
Why are you doing this?
From the beginning. I should never have pulled you into this.
Amara looked at him. That sentence held the entire night inside it. The CCTV, the records pulled, the lie, her name, and the deletion.
This man right now.
After I go back, can I reach out to you?
Amara looked at him for a moment. Then she smiled, slowly. For the first time tonight, a smile she didn't hide.
You already have the clinic number. You found your way there at 3 a.m.
Jae-hyuk laughed. This time his eyes laughed too. Amara saw that face. The face that had been cold and rigid all night was, in this moment, completely different.
That face that's his real face.
Jae-hyuk picked up his car keys.
I'll drive you back to the clinic.
It's fine. The subway.
Amara.
He said her name. Amara stopped talking.
Just for today, you don't have to be the doctor.
Amara looked at him, then picked up her bag.
Don't be late. I have morning patients.
I know.
The 2 of them walked side by side. In the elevator, neither spoke. But this silence was different. It wasn't the silence of 3 a.m. It was warm. Central Seoul, 7 a.m., in front of the private clinic in Gangnam. The car came to a stop. Amara opened the door. Before stepping out, she turned to look at Jae-hyuk.
Jae-hyuk.
Yes.
Next time come at a different hour, not 3 a.m.
Jae-hyuk laughed, low and quiet. Amara heard that laugh at her back as she pushed open the clinic door. Seoul's morning sunlight settled across the glass of the clinic entrance. Amara paused for just a moment at the door. She didn't look back, but a smile spread across her lips.
I'm alive. Today in Seoul. For the first time.
The car moved slowly away. Jae-hyuk watched the clinic door in the rearview mirror. He waited until it closed. And then for the first time, he looked forward.
3 years have ended. Now it begins.
Seoul's morning opened fully. Sunlight spread wide across the Han River. One by one, people appeared on the Gangnam streets. 6:12 a.m., and the two of them from their separate places were stepping into the same morning. This story is entirely fictional, and AfroKorean loving Seoul